Let me tell you about the time I tried to impress a girl. Spoiler alert, it didn't go as planned. So there was this girl, Sarah. She was smart, funny, and way out of my league. I'd been trying to catch her attention for weeks, but she seemed immune to my natural charm, which I guess was fair since my charm mostly involved making terrible puns and accidentally spilling coffee. Then one day I found out Sarah loved animals, not in a casual puppies are cute way. She was hardcore. She volunteered at the animal shelter every weekend, followed all the big conservation accounts on social media. She was basically Jane Goodall meets Dr. Dolittle. So I decided that this was my way in. Obviously I had to show her how much I also cared about animals, but I didn't have any pets. My goldfish, Gary, had sadly passed away a few months prior, R.I.P. Gary, and I wasn't about to adopt a dog just to win her over. So I did the next best thing. I lied. I told her I was a falconer. Look, I don't know why. I think I was going for mysterious, but it came out more like certifiable. But it was too late to turn back. She looked so intrigued. She started asking questions, and I somehow ended up convincing her I trained falcons on the weekends. The more I talked, the more into it she got. She said she'd love to see it sometime, so of course I invited her to my next falcon training session, which as of 5 minutes earlier was definitely not a real thing. Now I was in deep. I had 2 days to find myself a falcon or I don't know, somehow fake falconry skills. I couldn't back out because then she'd know I was a fraud, which, to be clear, I totally was. So I did the only thing I could think of. I went to Craigslist. I typed falcon into the search bar. Nothing came up, but I did find someone selling a parrot. Close enough, right? I emailed the guy and arranged to pick up this parrot the next day. When I showed up, I explained to him that I was trying to impress a girl. He gave me this look like, yeah, I'm sure that'll work out for you. But he handed over the parrot, and I went home with my new falcon. Fast forward to Saturday. I texted Sarah, told her I was ready, and we met at the park. I had this parrot perched on my shoulder, trying to act like I had it all under control, even though I had no idea what I was doing. To make matters worse, I'd watched about 10 minutes of a falconry YouTube tutorial the night before, and was now convinced I could train this parrot to hunt. I introduced Sarah to Sir Reginald, my fierce falcon, and she looked at me like she was really impressed. Her eyes sparkled. I was killing it. Then, she asked me to show her some falcon tricks. Panic set in. My mind went blank, so I said, sure, watch this. I raised my arm dramatically and whispered, hunt, Sir Reginald, hunt, and threw a piece of bread into the air, expecting him to, I don't know, dive bomb it or something. But this parrot did nothing. He just looked at me, squawked, and stayed put on my arm like, dude, what's your problem? Okay, maybe he's still warming up, I stammered, already feeling the sweat on my forehead. Sarah raised an eyebrow, and I knew I was losing her interest fast. So, desperate to salvage the situation, I decided to call him. I'd seen videos where falcons flew to their handlers when they whistled. I raised my arm again, whistled as loudly as I could, and nothing. Sir Reginald didn't move. He just sat there, giving me a death stare. I could feel Sarah's disappointment. This was not falconry. Then I had an idea so dumb it could only make things worse. I took a cracker from my pocket. Yeah, I'd packed snacks for the parrot, and held it in front of me. Come, Sir Reginald, I called. I took a few steps backward, waving the cracker, hoping he'd somehow get the hint and do a cool flight trick. He did not. Instead, he decided to give me the most painful bite I'd ever experienced on my finger. I yelped, waving my hand frantically, and Sir Reginald finally took off directly into the nearest tree, where he stayed, squawking his head off. I had lost control of my falcon. I tried coaxing him down, but Sir Reginald had made himself comfortable. Sarah was silent, her expression a mix of confusion and pity. Finally, she asked, are you sure you're a falconer? At that point, I knew I was busted. I sighed and admitted, no, not really, I'm more of a parrot guy. She laughed a lot. To my surprise, she didn't seem angry. She actually thought it was funny that I'd gone through all this just to impress her. We ended up getting coffee after all, and she even helped me lure Sir Reginald out of the tree. Now, every time she wants to tease me, she calls me the fake falconer. It's not the most flattering title, but hey, it worked. We're still together, and Sir Reginald is thriving in his new home. But trust me, I will never try to impress anyone with a falcon again.